Okay, today I'll be talking about working in Australia. So, starting off, my first job I had there was while on the trip to Australia on the ship. I had a Uha tape recorder, you know, and it's a tape to tape recorder. It's not a cassette or anything like that, a small one, and it broke down on the trip. So when I got to Sydney on the first working day, I think it was the 27th, 28th of 28th of December. I went downtown to look for a radio shop where I might be getting parts or something like that. I didn't know. I couldn't see any kangaroos in the streets or anything like that, so I assumed there was just a normal civilization. And so when I got there, it was Strand Electronics. It was in Pitt Street. I went in and I said, if there's with my non-existing broken English, I asked, if there's if they have got parts for, or if I can get parts for this thing, and they spoke to me in German because obviously they realized I was German. So the woman was from Heidelberg, but they both were from Germany, husband and wife business, and they said, "Oh yeah, just leave it here and we'll fix it for you." I said, "I don't need that. I can fix it myself. I just need the part." And they said, "Well, it's not easy." I said, "Well, look, I'm a radio and TV technician. I'm an electronics engineer. I can do that." Oh, they said, "Do you need a job?" I said, "Sure." Okay. So they introduced me to their mechanic in the shop, and so I talked to him for. He was also German, so I talked to him for a while, and so they said, "Well, when do you want to start?" I said, "Well, I just arrived. Let's say 1st of February, because I need a month to recover from the trip." I was 6 weeks on the ship. I mean, it's not that easy. It was taxing. Anyway, so we agreed. Okay, I'll start on the 1st of February, and so for a month, I just walked around Sydney, discovered Sydney, helped, walked with some friends for them to find jobs. And what the situation was, um, the, one of the banks, the ANZ Bank, had a guy on put a guy on the ship in Fremantle who would talk to us, to the migrants, and sign us up for accounts with the ANZ Bank, and he also we could then go to him, and he would help us find jobs. Okay, so but I already got my job, so I was fine. But I went quite sometimes to him and had to have things translated into English, like my papers for as electrician and in electronics, and all these papers I had to be translated. So he did all that for me, and so come February, I started working there, and I was working in the shop in Pitt Street for about a week, and then they transferred me to Newcastle, which is about, I don't know, an hour and a half drive north of Sydney, and it's a coal mining town. And so I went there, and they had a shop there, and the guy who was running the shop, it was just him and me. The guy was Chinese, very nice guy, but I had to share a flat with him, a unit with him, and he was after girls. So every night when we finished work, we closed up the shop, and then he would go have a shower, get dressed, and everything like that. And he says, "Come along, come along." So we go hunting for girls in Newcastle. I mean, you don't even know what that means. It's amazing. so we did that, and every weekend, we drove down to Sydney for 2 days and drove back. And yeah, it was okay. The job was okay. I was a technician in there, and he was a sales guy. There was one guy in there who came in, a German guy who came in every day. He was working for the mines. He was a specialist in conveyor belts, and so he was on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He made a hell of a lot of money, but he only had to go there if something breaks down. So they could call him up anytime, and if something breaks down, he had to quickly go there and fix it. So he was home all the time. So he would come in every day into the shop and see if there's anything new. Whatever was new, he would buy. And so one day he invited me to his house, and so we went there, and we talked, and he showed me it was just his living room had four huge big speakers, one in each corner, and he had this amplifier in there. If you turned the amplifier, there were 10 notches on there. If you turned it from 0 to 1, it would lift the roof off. That was his equipment. It was amazing. He had also all the carpentry tools and everything. He made himself beautiful chests for all his records and his amplifier and stuff. It was great. So anyway, but after a month working there, I realized it wasn't my thing, because like, it was very limited, and I didn't like the area, I didn't like the people there or anything. It was just not my style. And so after a month I decided, okay, that's not for me, I'm going. So I resigned my position there. I think I worked there for a month or two, I can't remember, I think probably February, March. Yeah, February, March. So for 2 months I worked there, 1.5 months. And so that was my first job, and it was, and from there on, yeah. And the next video will be about how I started at the Opera House.